And what's going on? This is Fridgy.
And Willy.
And Jeep.
And we are back with the Fridgy and Willy show. And we're featuring Jeep today. Jeep, glad to have you along.
Good to be here. Good to talk some college football.
Just to remind you guys, we are with Diamond Talk now, the four corners of sports. We're going to have basketball and hockey coming very soon. We are really excited about that. So, first thing we want to start off with is the elephant in the room. National championship game. Opinions. Great game from me.
It was a really great game. It was just a wild finish, too. 2nd and 25 there, and they throw it in the end zone. Touchdown, game over.
Hats off to that Alabama backup quarterback. Can't pronounce his name. I didn't watch the second half. Went to bed, 7:30 class, but I missed one hell of an ending. I know that. But it felt pretty good because, coming from an Oklahoma fan, little redemption. So that was good.
No, I thought the game was great, and the first half I thought it was going to be a runaway game for Georgia. But Nick Saban kind of went in, made adjustments as to where Georgia didn't really have any opportunity to make adjustments because, Alabama didn't do anything right in the first half. They go back, they go into half, they come out with a new quarterback. True freshman quarterback from Hawaii, correct? And I saw on the internet there was reports that they were having trouble, thinking this guy was going to even be able to speak English. And this guy comes in and he is the best quarterback in the national championship game.
Yeah, I just got off the phone with a good friend of mine, and he said how my neighbor is a huge Alabama fan. He was saying how all the Alabama fans thought this kid should have been starting a long time ago, and the fact that Hurts should stay on the bench. I mean, this kid was just so much better in this game.
Yeah, but how are you going to sit a guy who coming into this game was 25-2?
I mean, Nick Saban worked his magic there, and it paid off. So,
I personally think, looking forward, that you're going to see a two-quarterback system from Alabama moving forward. Jalen Hurts running a type of wildcat offense, running the ball. He could throw it. I mean, it's not like he's unable to throw it. He can't get it downfield accurately. That's his problem. That was apparent last night. He missed 2 or 3 big throws and would run instead of throwing it, for that matter. But regarding last night, I watched some tape on it. I mean, it was just unbelievable to see a freshman who had never, played in as big of a game as this, obviously, come in and just take that offense to the next level that they needed to be on.
He stepped up big time.
Yeah, and
sure.
I think it's tough because Alabama's identity is running the ball.
Yep.
And I mean, their leading rusher had 64 yards.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's not Alabama to me. And on the flip side, Georgia played, I thought, a pretty good game. Just kind of second half stalled out. One touchdown the second half.
Typical SEC games, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be lower scoring.
I thought that was the right score.
I thought it was going to be
like
lower scoring.
I mean, at first, originally, yes. But when Alabama made that run, new points were going to get on the board.
Well, who thought Alabama was going to make that run? I didn't. I thought that they were just going to stall out.
They had a couple calls go their way, too, that the refs obviously missed for Georgia, too, and
this just proves
huge.
that Nick Saban is the greatest college coach of all time.
Absolutely.
There's no question. No one thought that was going to happen, that he was going to bench his, one of the Heisman favorites, and Jalen Hurts, preseason-wise, and go with the backup quarterback, true freshman.
Just shows how much confidence
Unbelievable.
he has.
So Jalen Hurts in the first half, it's all he played, really, was 3 for 8 with 21 yards.
Yeah.
Two, I'm not even going to say his last name, 14 for 24, 166 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That I thought was a freshman mistake on his interception.
And it happens.
So one person we're not talking about who deserves credit also is Jake Fromm. He played a great game, I thought. It's really tough to say great. I know they didn't put any type of drives together in the second half, but I mean, you're a true freshman in the national championship game, and I know you should be ready for this stage, but it's not the easiest thing to handle.
I mean, Alabama defense is no joke. They made those
so
adjustments
it's a
at half.
Offense,
right.
Or defense, excuse me.
I mean, that was uncharacteristic of them in the first half to give up 20 points there.
Yeah, they get 13. They
13 and then 20, but
yeah, tough game, especially in the second half for Georgia. really didn't have an answer for the freshman quarterback. And once he came in, I mean, that offense, just like I said before, they took it to the next level. And that's what you need to do as a good football team to win games. I mean, even with Hurts in the game, they weren't out of it.
No, they
and
were
just
they
making
were
that
never
move.
out of it.
Yeah.
And the one play that I think
Bama's never out
that
of games.
changed this game, though, they were down 7, Bama, 4th down, touchdown.
Yeah.
How clutch was that?
Well, that's something you'd see on a movie, like
How clutch?
like you know,
Yeah,
Calvin
it was
Ridley,
movie-like.
Calvin Ridley comes out of nowhere and just catches this ball, and that ball wasn't even meant for him.
No.
That ball was meant for number 22. I don't know
Right.
his name, but that ball wasn't even meant for him, and
Yeah.
he just comes out of nowhere, comes behind 2 defenders and catches that ball. Absolutely incredible, and it to me, you know, I gotta publicly make a statement that, you know, yes. The committee got it right.
Thank
They
you.
got it right.
As much as
I knew they did.
as much as I don't want to say it, because as a Buckeye, you know, I wanted Ohio State in, and I did. I was a homer for him. I wanted him in. When it came down to it, Ohio State's offense with JT Barrett at the helm was not. And I don't know if Ohio State went into shutdown mode in the second half of their bowl game or what.
They weren't that impressive in the first half either. Their
well-
defense set them up. I mean, let's be realistic. When you have to get 30 yards in a drive, I mean, you know what I mean?
Boy, did the Big Ten take care of business, though, in these bowl games.
Oh, absolutely. And then
Yeah.
Michigan ruined it.
I mean,
Good.
and it's Michigan, though.
No
No one cares.
Yeah.
Listen, it was a win-win situation. Either we go 8-0, or they're the reason it's not.
That's
And-
true.
I didn't mind them being the reason.
Yeah, I didn't mind them being the reason. So to wrap this whole thing up, yes, as I said, I believe the committee got it right. The Georgia-Oklahoma game was a game to remember. And the only comments that I will really have on that game is that Oklahoma did not make any adjustments in the second half. And Kirby Smart did. And I thought they kind of took Baker Mayfield kind of out of the game.
I will say
Not
this.
Georgia either.
I will say this. I'm a huge Lincoln Riley fan. I think he brings energy to the team.
Young guy.
You
I
know,
love
a
it.
young
Love
guy,
it.
34 years old. He brings the same energy that Bob Stoops did. And I really, obviously, I love both of those coaches. They're great coaches. Lincoln Riley, you know, energetic, fun guy to be around.
Year one
Players
takes him
love
to the college football playoff.
Yeah.
You know.
Nacy, here's what I would have done differently. Coming out second half, I mean, you just look around football in general and you say, wow, you know, look at last year's Super Bowl. You can't get conservative when you're up.
No.
And I think, you know, that's kind of what happened on offense.
Little bit of a well, that's
And
what-
then the third
Must be a
quarter,
Georgia thing, though.
Georgia put some pressure on Baker Mayfield, sacked him, I think, 2 or 3 plays in a row. And at that point, I think I would have adjusted to a short passing game, maybe throw more screens, halfback swings. You know, get the ball to your playmakers quickly and get them in one-on-one situations because our athletes, I think, are better than Georgia's athletes on the defensive side of the ball. That was apparent in the first half.
The biggest drive of a college football game when you have a lead at halftime has to be that first drive when you get in that third quarter.
yeah.
If you don't
it
score
sets
there, it's the
tone.
momentum shifter.
Well, and you look, Oklahoma did not even score a point in the third quarter.
No,
I mean, that
and
hurts.
that hurt him big time.
That hurts. It really does.
It started with the squib kick at the end of the second quarter, and I hate saying that because, you know, when you squib kick, you're not supposed to kick it right at a guy, and it happens.
I don't think he meant to. I think that's the way the
No,
ball bounced.
by any means, no. He wanted the ball to go, you know, directionally away from the center man, but, you know, it happens, and you can't blame it on one play, but that was a huge momentum play for Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia back-to-back overtime games too.
Yeah, that's got to put a lot of wear and tear on your players too, you know.
Absolutely. I will say this to close. Baker Mayfield, my favorite college player of all time, brings a lot of juice, a lot of energy, and I think he's going to be a pretty good NFL quarterback. I really do. He's going to bring something to a team, the X factor that, you know, Deshaun Watson has. Not saying he's Deshaun Watson, but I think he has that it factor that can take a team, put some energy into him, and, you know, win some ball games.
I think he's going to go to the Browns, by the way.
I would
never mind.
disagree.
Forget it. Everything I
Listen,
just said.
hey, the Browns,
New York Giants.
The Browns.
I hope so.
New York Giants.
I'm really hoping for the Giants.
The Browns are going to take Saquon Barkley.
That might
first.
happen.
Fitzpatrick second, or fourth, I should say, second pick.
I think they're going to go with the quarterback.
Oh my gosh!
They love to do it.
They do, but at the same time, I
Ruined
think if you're the
careers,
Browns,
Cleveland Browns.
I think if you're the Browns, you have to, build a line. I mean, Kaiser, when he's not making rookie mistakes, he's getting hit and hit hard. And I think his biggest problem is happy feet due to the line.
Yeah, it's tough when Joe Thomas is sitting on the bench,
100% agree with that.
One game I do want to get to, UCF and Auburn.
Oh.
Jeep, you called it. Good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. I had no faith in you whatsoever. Thought Auburn would
So did I.
sling it around them.
Just
run the
found
ball
out there
right at
for real,
'em.
though.
I appreciate the credit.
Credit when credit's due. I mean,
Yeah.
UCF manned up. That I don't know number 18's name for them, but he's got one hand.
Yeah.
And he's a better linebacker than most linebackers in college football.
He knows how to tackle.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
he didn't get enough credit this year.
No, not at all.
The whole team didn't as a whole.
It's amazing how 51 players on that team 2 years ago, they were 0-12.
0-12.
Scott
and now
Frost
they
is
go to
the difference.
13-0. Yeah.
Scott Frost absolutely
Nebraska's
is the
getting a
difference.
good coach.
And I really, really hope that UCF can continue this stretch of, playing good football.
I mean, hopefully
it's
the
gonna
new
be
coach
hard.
can. Yeah.
But at the same time, I think whoever they hire is going to be the right guy for the job.
One thing I do want to get to is transfers. Who do we think is going to transfer and who's going to stay? Number one, Jacob Eason is going to the University of Washington. He is transferring.
Just for the people who don't know, you
Yeah.
should explain who that is.
Oh, Jacob Eason is the backup quarterback to Jake Fromm down in Georgia, who was hurt earlier in the season, and Jake Fromm came in, stepped in, and took him to a national championship. So obviously he's fine. Last year when I watched Jacob Eason, I thought he was going to be a great quarterback. Like I was really into this guy. You know what I mean? And for him to get hurt, that sucks.
Yeah,
that could have been him.
Yeah.
And you have no clue what he could have done with that team. Jake Browning out at University of Washington, he's going to be a senior.
Yep.
So how do you think that's going to go with Eason behind him, kind of learning the UW offense? And also, Eason's not a mobile quarterback. I mean, that offense is kind of fast. What do you think about that?
In the spread offense, I learned from Chip Kelly in his days with Nick Foles that you don't have to be fast or have a mobile quarterback to run the spread system. I think they'll adapt to his skill set, as any good offensive coordinator would. But Browning is the real deal, and Washington blows a lot of teams out. So you're going to see Eason get some time this year, definitely. And,
Well, he's going to have to sit out. He's going to have to sit out.
Oh, that's right.
He's
The
going to have to sit
transfer
out.
rule.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then,
So
you're
that's
going
why
to
I'm
get a
saying
year.
he's going to get behind
I
him.
would
He's going
say,
to learn the offense.
Watching that Fiesta Bowl, though, he looked out of sync.
He did.
He did not look sharp at
He
all.
didn't look sharp all season. I think that's kind of what happened to Washington.
I think
they
they
got
relied,
lost in a wash.
Washington
Yeah.
relied so much on that defense.
Yeah.
Their defense is spectacular, too.
I mean, but Penn State, though, somehow was, 13 for 13 on third down conversions. That was shocking to me.
A high state quarterback competition. Tate Martell, Joe Burrow.
I was hoping we were going to talk
Dwayne
about
Haskins.
This is not my topic.
Well, you're a Big Ten fan, buddy.
Trace McSorley's coming back.
He is coming back, and
Then Tommy Stevens. That's all we need to know.
well,
But you're losing the best player in
We are.
arguably
Football.
school
We
history.
cannot replace a Saquon Barkley.
So, anyways, I think personally, way too early prediction. Tate Martell is going to win the job. All they did was rave about him all the time. Scout team. He was the scout team player of the week. I can't tell you how many times. He worked his butt off. All he did was get high praise from Urban Meyer. But we saw Dwayne Haskins come in the game against the team up north and put on a show. I personally don't think we win that game if he's not in it.
I agree with that.
If JT Barrett doesn't get hurt, we lose.
Yeah. And that's kind of funny to say, honestly, because JT Barrett's been your leader for so long.
But don't you think that in the 2014 national championship run,
he doesn't get enough credit, JT.
I'm not going to give him any credit.
No.
Every time he scored 7 to 8 touchdowns, it was against Maryland, Iowa, and Rutgers.
Well,
That's why
look
he
at the
has
Penn
all
State
the records.
game. How good he was.
He did. He had an absolutely
That was
phenomenal
his
second half.
best
He
game
had
of
an
his career.
absolutely phenomenal second half, and then against Iowa,
He gets the job
Urban Meyer wanted to turn him into a Heisman winner. He wanted to. So we continued to pass. And I get it. We were down by a lot, so we had to pass. We had no time to run the ball. But even early in that game, I mean, we have J.K. Dobbins and Mike Weber. And, hey, Mike Weber's coming back to Ohio State. I'm really excited about that. Mm-hmm. People thought he was going to the NFL. Would not have done well. He'd have been a 6th to 7th round draft pick, maybe undrafted. And he's going to, I don't know what the tandem's going to be between J.K. Dobbins and Mike Weber, but it's going to be something special, I believe.
You think Weber's leaving?
No, he's going to stay.
He's going to stay?
He's going to stay. I think Joe Burrow is transferring. And if he doesn't transfer, I think he just enjoys getting free clothing from Ohio State. At this point, he wants the free education and to graduate.
Nothing wrong with that.
And which is absolutely beautiful.
I'd take that.
Yeah, but getting back to the quarterback competition, I think Tate Martell has the intangibles to be the next Baker Mayfield. He's that good.
He's amazing.
He's a freakish athlete, and I mean, he's a guy who doesn't have to walk on and prove himself. He's already proved himself.
He's got swagger. I love it. I like a guy.
He reminds me of Baker Mayfield. That's who he reminds me of. Just who is a little bit faster and who runs a little bit more tendency to run. And I think that's what obviously Urban Meyer loves. And I think that's why he could end up winning the job, but I have no idea. I don't know. I feel like Ohio State's offense is better when they can move the ball downfield with the pass, throw it downfield. You saw that with Cardale Jones. I think Haskins has a better arm.
You just don't know because you don't know what Urban wants. All right, last little segment here. Oklahoma next season. What's happening?
Kyler Murray will be in contention for the Heisman Award. Kid is unbelievable. Transferred from Texas A&M, sat behind Manziel for a year. Transferred to Oklahoma, I believe, to play baseball, but also, sling the pig, seeing around. But our defense is young, played a lot of freshmen, and I think we're going to be very, very good, and I think we're going to contend for, yet again, another playoff spot.
Willy, Penn State.
4th-ranked recruiting class this year. We lose a lot senior-wise on this team, obviously, last year. But, Saquon Barkley's backup, Miles Sanders, is no joke. You got to watch out for him. Trace is coming back. They'll reload on wide receivers and defense. I mean, Ohio State and Penn State are going to have great games these next 5 years for how awesome these recruiting classes are. I mean, they're the top of the Big Ten, and I hope Michigan, the team up north, excuse me,
get that out
would compete with us. It would be great for the conference.
Gorse, Pitt.
All right, so Pitt, I think, will actually have a bounce back year because if you look at ESPN, Kenny Pickett made their 2018 breakout player list that they just released a couple of weeks ago, which for me was a surprise because he only really played in 1.5, 2 games. But I think Pitt had a very young, inexperienced team this past year. Most of their guys are going to be coming back with a lot more experience than before. So I think they'll have a bounce-back year. I think they'll get at least 2nd or 3rd in the Coastal, if not winning the Coastal.
And the Ohio State University, I believe, will be the best team in the Big Ten. I believe that Tate Martell will win the starting job. I think we're going to utilize our wide receivers a lot more next year because I'm telling you, we're going to start losing wide receiver recruits like mad if we do not start using them. I don't think if I was a top wide receiver, I would even consider Ohio State at this point. But I think Ohio State, with the defenses coming back, even though Sam Hubbard and Tyquan Lewis is leaving, and who else is leaving? I think Damian Webb's leaving. And Denzel Ward declared for the draft. So
Bears, please get him.
Yeah.
Please.
That game's going to be prime time next year. Up at Happy Valley, us too.
It'll be the whiteout.
It will be 8 o'clock.
I can't wait to watch it already, guys.
And I think Ohio State's going to be in the playoff. And
with us.
If I hope 2 teams from the Big Ten get in.
So would I.
I really do. So
it would only have to be 1 loss between us, though. That's the thing. Can't lose 2.
I know we started a little, late into the season, but, we really appreciate you guys listening to us and comment, subscribe, give us feedback on what you liked, what you didn't like, besides the fact that we were biased. Cause
we're always everyone's gonna be biased
because we don't care. Yeah. But
your opinion's the same as my opinions.
Yeah, but no, we really appreciate you guys, and we are really looking forward to coming on a little bit in the off season and then kicking it off back in August. So August.